Good morning. This is Laura V from Laura V Studios coming on for Being Divine. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2024. There are only 10 days left of September. Wow, what a month this has been. My goodness. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. And I don't think I was wrong about what how this month started, that I had shifted, because I've had several really big shifts this month. And it's been interesting how people have been coming into my experience to kind of shape this for me and kind of help me see how this can shape. But it's so funny, the abundance attunement. Okay, I gotta share this one. Yesterday, I was in my emails. Thank God I was in my emails so that I saw it. Someone bought my Money Magic Toolkit. I don't have any way for them automatically to receive it. So I have to stay on top of my emails in case someone buys it to send it. But the problem was I hadn't put the thing together yet. I had the pieces, most of them, but I didn't have put together. So I was listening to this training on messaging while I'm trying to put together this toolkit. And I got it into her hands because I wanted it to get into her hands. It's not pretty, but she's got the stuff. And now I can work on making it prettier and stuff. So that was interesting. But it's been funny because I had taken that week-long business challenge that really made me step up as to like what kind of business owner I want to be and what kind of business I want to have, not just in terms of making money, but in terms of how I step up to serve others. That's the big one. Now, it's really interesting because I was really wrestling with this too. I invest in this $10,000 thing and trust. I just had this sneaking suspicion that even if I did all the work, I may not be successful. And not because what she teaches isn't good, but because I just am a little different. And I'm wired a little differently. And so that was kind of nagging at me. And then another option appeared to me, something similar, actually a little more aligned with who I am. Part of the problem is I've just been learning a lot this week. I've been learning a lot about my design. Um, and then on Sunday, um, okay, so Saturday was when I got to meet the bride that I'm doing the readings for next month. And oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful experience. She was excited. My daughter and I were excited. She paid me the full price, the full amount that day. I'm like, ugh. I wanted like half now, half after we delivered because I just don't feel right. So it's just sitting there until I actually deliver the goods. then I'll access that money, but not before because that's just how the way I am. But then the very next day, I offered a free session to a friend who was struggling. And I ended up doing a card reading for her, which I haven't done in years. And I was led to the idea of power. And then it was so interesting how things started coming after that, all related to power. I mean, it was literally that day. It was after shortly after I got off the call with her that I went into my emails and found this email of a channeled message from a wealth activator. And she's like, power, you need to tap into your power. I'm like, wait a minute, that's just what I told this lady. I'm like, wait, whoa, hello. And then like a day or two later, again, power came up in another context. And I was like, and then I started, well, this idea of power and abundance. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. 2 days later, an interview that day appeared in my YouTube feed from Wisdom from the North. And it was an interview with Gary Zudkoff talking about authentic power and that we are creating authentic power. I'm like, oh, yes, this makes sense. Now I have a word for this. And it's just like power has been the theme of this week. And and then this idea of like, don't let resistance stop you, don't let resistance stall you. Now it's a matter of, if I'm not feeling right about moving forward with something, is that resistance or is that wisdom? So that's where I'm at right now, is how to like discern that, because I've been digging into human design a little bit this week. And what I've learned is, well, it's just interesting because then another business marketer came onto my feed and says, here's eight podcasts I've done. Come learn how I do marketing differently. And I'm like, that, yes. And then one morning I woke up with this thought. If you sold a $99 membership and 100 people, and 100 people is doable. 100 people, that's $9,999 a month. You're right. Okay. So, and then when I talked to this coach about it, she's like, you don't want to do a membership. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm going to talk to my mentor today about how he manages his membership. He has, I think, around 300 people in his membership, and he offers three things in his membership. He's got a couple of recorded um, courses. One of them's a real thing. The other two are okay. Um, in there available. And then he's got like 700 recorded events. He does 3 to 4 events a week, and he's been doing it for like 7 years. So 700 videos. And so, people are paying to attend his live events and access that wealth of content, which are energy events. We move energy. That's what we do in his events in different with on different themes and in different ways. It's like all the different ways you can use these invocations to meet just about anything you want to grow on or heal. He covers it. And that's it. That's all he does. And he sends out emails. That's it. And it's plenty. We're all like, yeah, we're in. Hell yeah, we're in. So, I'm seeing the model of a really successful membership. And now he doesn't charge $99 a month though. So it's like, okay, what are we doing for $99 a month? But I'm open to going there. And I'm open to finding the people who can pay that and see the value in it. Well, also, I want to also make space for those who don't have $99 a month to spend. And that's why I'm kind of moving through like $25 a month. And then if that's even too much, offering a scholarship rate. That's what he does too. He offers his is more around the $25 a month rate. I think it's 29 a month now. And then he has a scholarship rate that's $10 less a month. And he does specials throughout the year too. So that helps. And that's how he's doing it. And I'm just like, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So I'm learning from him, like, okay, I can do a membership. And here's the reason why I believe that, that idea of 100 people paying $99 is going to give you what you want for a monthly income. And I'm like, oh, and I know that came from spirit. That wasn't from out there. I was just walking or I woke up or something. I was just in my own energy. And this thought came and I was like, oh, and I'm realizing why the membership idea is the best for me because number one, it allows me to be creative. Like I can create events and little courses and see if they like them and see if they use them before I try to sell them. But they're already paying me. So I get to be creative as long as I'm giving them what they paid for. And then I like have the chance to do some extra things to try things out. That's really valuable, really valuable. Number two, this is how I'm designed. My human design, I'm an emotional generator 2-4 profile. And what 2-4 means is that I need to be I have to have alone time to be in my energy to connect with my intuition and stuff. But then my people are like, hey, come on out. We want you. And I think I see how that played out this summer because I was like, I'm not doing Wednesday night. I'm just doing Sundays. I'm not doing twice a week for the month of June. I'm like, no. And then that first Wednesday came in June. I'm like, I kind of want to be there. But they just weren't expecting a new invocation. I just was burnt out in creating new invocations. Like, I can't do this anymore. They were okay with that, but they just wanted to hang out with me and listen to what I had to say and like offer some invocations or something, or just be in each other's, be able to interact with each other. I was like, oh. And then some new ideas came in July that we got to practice, and they loved that. And then some new ideas came in August, and we played with those and loved that. But they're also like so much growing in their own ways, that they're contributing to the group now. So now what I've decided is Wednesday nights are community hangout. I'm not leading anything. I'll be there and I'll just kind of make sure that everybody's getting a chance to talk, but it's not me, it's them. They talk. And then if they have a question, I'll answer it. But it's their time. And so I'm working on how to do that because I like to talk. So I'm learning how to back off and let them have their time. But yeah, so I'm finding ways to that don't burn me out, but still give them what they need. But the point is, they're still with me because just being in my energy is of value to them. And so that's how I build my membership. Um, and the other thing, the four profiles all about network. And they're like, you're going to build your business by creating network, your opportunities to serve and to sell, to serve and to sell, are going to come from your network and not from cold ads. Won't work. They won't work. I've learned that putting stuff out there on Facebook doesn't work. Now, if I interact with people one-on-one, then there's an opportunity to find a way to serve. And I'm all for like creating something. Like, what do you need? I can offer that. How does this sound? I can create the ways that what they really need and want from me, which is great. So that's why the membership thing works, because it gives me a chance to get to know them, spend time with them, be with them, and then and get to know them and build those relationships. So, but I know I can also do that with a group coaching I can actually go even deeper with people in a group coaching program. And now I guess this is where I was stuck earlier this month, was what's the difference between my group program and my membership, because they looked the same. I'm like, uh-oh. And talking with this coach and her laying out what her structure of a group program is, I'm like, oh, I get it now. And I do get it. And I know what the most important thing, although, oh my gosh, okay. Anyway, I won't bore you with all this stuff. This is me today. But what does this have to do with being divine? It's about me being in my divinity so that I can help other people awaken to their divinity. And I am learning more and more how to do that, how to be my divine self, what that looks like, what that feels like, how I get there, how I stay there, in that conscious awareness of my divinity. I mean, I'm always a divine being. That's not the issue. It's the separation consciousness that gets in the way of that. And so it's like, how do I, work, navigate around that to stay more consciously in my divinity, as I move forward. Um, but yeah, I think the big thing is like really trusting my intuition, trusting my guidance from my guides, and then helping empower other women to trust their own inner knowing and guidance. I think that's the really big thing that I really feel is really important, because so many people are relying on other people's channeled messages, and they're relying on other people's readings to tell them what to do, like all the time. It's like, no, no, that's not healthy. That's not what you're here to do. So I feel like that's like the big thing that I really need to focus on right now. But being divine, being in my divinity, what does that look like? That looks like me just reminding myself I am a divine being, and really trusting that and leaning into that as much as I possibly can. And well, actually, the thought that came to me this morning was a lot of people are relying on these teachers from the other side of the veil that they channel, right? And what's becoming clear to me is that's not how I'm going to roll. What I'm going to be channeling is me. I'm going to be my own authority, fully embodying my divinity, not from the human, but from my divinity. Like, so instead of relying on somebody on the other side of the veil, no, they're right here. They're right here, right now, accessible. They are available and accessible. We now have the ability to not have to cross over or rely on somebody on the other side. You are that spiritual being. You are that divine authority. And so for me, it's not going to be I'm channeling some teacher on the other side because we can't possibly see. No, 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 that's not where we're headed. It's our souls are coming into our bodies and getting online, and we won't need to talk to somebody on the other side of the veil because that's in us, and we're fully conscious to that, and we're fully embodying that, and so we won't need teachers. Does that make sense? We will teach each other. I'll have something to offer, and then you'll have something to offer me. That's the cool thing about my group is they're teaching me as much as I'm teaching them. I mean, I have the skill and the mindset to, create the space and hold space and address needs. Like when the first time we did the community hangout, I had done the women's healing circle the day before, and somebody showed up for the Wednesday who I knew was in that group and didn't show up for Tuesday, and she was sharing some things she was struggling with, and I had to step in and address that because the others weren't. And so, that's the role I fill is somebody's got a problem, somebody's got a question, I will address that, and then I will open it up to everybody. And everybody helped with the healing. That's the cool thing. I guide it, but they help. So it's not just me doing it for everybody. It's we're doing it together. I'm simply guiding it. I'm simply facilitating. Um, and that's how I like to work. That's how I like to roll. So I'm just learning what being in my divinity looks like, being more consciously aware of my divinity. And really, I really feel like I'm getting firmly into being that divine being. I think we'll be right on target by the end of the month. I'll definitely be really, I think I'm already, well, the fact that I think it's what I know is what I'll know. Like, but I remember thinking it's like it's gonna snap. And that Thursday morning a couple weeks ago, when I woke up, I was like, it had snapped. It had snapped into place. I'm like, I'm here. And so, I can tell when I'm shifting. It's like, I'm here now. Cool. And so I'm just opening up to more and more shifts. And yeah, and just being excited about what's coming and what that looks like. And yeah, so that's being divine for me. Um, I hope you are having an excellent day and that this inspires you to be your divine self as well. All right. Bye bye.